Yeah, I was checking the microphone. I do that now. I do it before. It's just yesterday that was I'm going to blame YouTube on that one, even though it was probably like on my end. All right, or at least dealing with the not connecting thing. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm Max. This is Jeffrey, and we're doing the show. So Phil's not here. He broke his arm. Please send him a get well message at Magma Lemur on Twitter, MAGMALEMUR, and put some money in the Kickstarter. This would be awesome if that thing went through. I know it's not looking so good right now, but that means that you need to start throwing money in. That's what it means. It doesn't mean to run away. It means to put more in. Thank you. Appreciate it. On with the show. All right. So, on our last episode, what did we do on our last episode? Let's look at what we got. Oh, we made a background thingy for our title screen and stuff. So we've got a little prettier. It's still got a lot of programmer art involved, and that probably won't change too much during the course of this development. But yeah, so we have the game running. We have sounds, we have music, we have stuff that reacts to music. We've got explosions, high scores, title screen. We've got a lot of stuff here. It looks like a pretty complete game. What we're going to probably focus on in this episode is fixing that fog problem on mobile. So this is fixing our mobile ports where we, right now on mobile, the fog doesn't look very good. And part of the reason it doesn't is we found out due to the distance of the vertices that make up our background here. Evidently they're so far away that however the fog is being calculated, it's messing things up. We did a test yesterday where when we made this thing smaller and played it on mobile, it actually showed the fog. So the fog rendering was not the problem. The problem was the fog needs vertices that are closer. So since we know that, the first thing I'm going to actually try, and I'm not sure if this is going to work, although we are going to need... I didn't bring over the device. I'll bring the device over in a moment here. What I'm going to actually give a shot to is, first of all, I want to see how narrow we can make this and still not have a background problem. The reason that we made it so big before was to kind of hide the perspective that we see here. You can actually see like one line of extra pixels here, and so we actually did that to hide that. But then when we started hiding things with the fog, we probably could get away with actually bringing that in a little bit more. So I'm just going to see first of all what we can get away with if we rescale this a little bit. So I'm going to take both of our grounds. Oh, they're not scaled the same way. Why? They should be. For some reason, it shows the Y scale as being different between the two, but they're the same. So we're going to go ahead and do 100 by 100. And we're going to take the... Oh, what happened there? Oh, yeah, that's right, because we're not centered. We are at the edge here. So we'll do 100 by 100. We aren't even rendering the skybox anymore. I don't know why we're doing that in the editor. I'm just going to turn off the skybox here. And let's change the texture so this is appropriate. So we're going to go to Materials, and we want Grid 8 and Grid 32. Both need to be changed. I guess we can't change them at the same time. So Grid 8 we're going to reduce to 10, and Grid 32 we're going to reduce to 20. And now I'm going to move our hero and the, let's see, main camera. So we need the main camera and the hero. And I think the pillar spawner can... No, the pillar spawner has to move too. So the pillar spawner was at 100, the hero was at 0. Actually, we don't want to move the player, we want to move the ground. Let's move the ground to us. So let's bring it to 495. Let's do 495 divided... Whatever. We'll just slide this until it comes into position. Why did it do that? All right. There we go. So there we go. So 49.5. So if we look at the game now, that's not exactly right because it's not going into the screen. So let's try just 49. 49. No, 48. 48 will work. Alright, so if we hit play right now, I think the speeds will probably be... No, the speeds are right. So this is... I can definitely see the angle of the stuff there. We see stuff floating on the sides there, so I don't really like that. Let me just undo what we just did there. That's a lot of undoing. Wow. There we go. There we go. Alright, so let's see how this looked again. So remember, see how it doesn't have the edges there and it never looks like these things are floating in air. Alright, so we've got a couple other options. We can... Alright, let's try something that may not work, but might get us closer. So right now our ground is using a quad. I'm actually going to change it to use a plane. And the plane is the same as a quad, except for it has... Wait, that didn't change it to a plane at all. Oh, mesh collider. Okay. Well, the collider can really stay a quad, that doesn't matter, although we really shouldn't have a collider on this at all anyway, so I'm just going to remove it. I think the reason I was keeping it there is in case we wanted to do some like particles bouncing off the ground, which we can add one later if we need it. So the question I have is, why is it missing? Oh, I know why. So if we go to the ground here, wait, where? So plane. Oh, that's the problem. So it's now, so the plane is not oriented the same way as the quad. So we have to fix the orientation and scaling. And it's also 10 times the scale of a normal quad. So we want to change this so that it's Z that's scaled by 1,000. We need to divide this by 10 on both of these. The Y can be 1. And then we can put the rotation at 0 there. And there we go. We've got our thing back. Now the difference now is this, as you can barely make out, because it's really hard to see, there's these blue polygons here. So now there's 10 times the number of polygons. It's actually the same as dividing this thing by scale 10 as far as making sure that there's more vertices near our player. So this might solve the problem. I am not... So which ground was this that we did? This is the diffuse ground. Considering the fog doesn't even affect the particles additive shader, I'm not going to worry about changing the other ground for right now. I'm just going to see if this actually helps us at all with our problem. So, thank you for getting this, by the way. So I'm going to plug in the Android device, and we're going to turn on the screen. The camera, I mean. And we're going to hit Run on Unity. And I think... not Run. We're going to go to Build Settings. We're on Android. We're going to do Build and Run. And I'm just curious if this will fix our problem. If it does, that would be sweet. If it makes it a little bit better, that would be sweet. If it doesn't do either of those things, then we will try some more ideas. So we'll get creative on this thing. I'm hoping it does, because then we're sitting pretty, and then we'll have to figure out something else to do for the rest of the episode.
I think it'll at least partially fix it.
Yeah, I think it will too, but we'll see. All right, so go ahead.
If it doesn't fix it all the way, I think there's a editor extension that creates planes with different amounts of vertices on them. That's
cool. That's very cool. So we might be able to just use something like that if it's a partial fix. So I'm unlocking this thing, and we've got our title screen, so that's proof that we're on the new stuff. And I'm going to hit Start Game, and it does look like it has improved the fogging scenario. You can definitely see some things happening on the ground. Though I'm not sure, like Jeffrey said, it doesn't look like it's a 100% fix. For curiosity's sake, here, you take a look at that.
Oh, yeah.
There's a button on the bottom middle. Like it's virtual. It's on the screen. Kind of. Yeah. All right. So what are we doing? So first of all, so that did look better, but it wasn't 100%. I just want to see if we had this squished together a little bit more, if it would get it to 100%. So I am going to actually, even though it doesn't look right, I am going to bring this down by a factor of 10 again. And I'm going to go ahead and do it with this one. This is just going to be a quick test. Whoops. So, and then we're going to change the tiling, because I don't want that to be a factor on looking the same or different or right or wrong or something. And we're going to move the grounds again towards like 48 or something was the one that we had last time. Let's go to the game view and see how that looks. It looks pretty good. Alright, so let's see if this actually looks good on the device. We're not going to keep it like this, probably, but I just want to see if this further fixes the problem. So we're going to do build and run. By the way, this type of problem you can't find in the Unity, what is it called, the Unity Remote thing. Unity Remote just takes whatever's on your screen and puts it on this screen, so it does not actually show you rendering problems that you have on your device. You have to test on device by building for it. So
is it mostly for like touch input?
It's mostly for touch input, yeah. Honestly, the screen thing, I wouldn't even care if it had the screen on there, but some games, you touch certain things on the screen. So it's better for testing that you can actually see them on the screen. So I'm going to do start game. Ooh, yeah, that's looking real good. That looks like what we had on the player. So it will work, I think, if we have more vertices in our plane. So let's look for a script that lets us do that. So I'm going to, again, go and undo some of these things.
What are the two problems right now? So, without undoing?
Without undoing? Okay. Well, it wasn't going to let me undo anyway, so... which two problems?
It doesn't extend all the way to the sides. That was a problem.
That was a problem with using this solution, yes.
Well, I think the fog mostly comes in from the distance... on the forward of the camera, so I think we can extend the plane on the, I'm not sure which axis we're on the x-axis.
X-axis, and you think it'll still be good?
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a shot.
We might also...
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Let's test that. So, on the x-axis, we're going to extend it to what we had before, but then we're going to not extend it on the y and see how this actually works. So in this case, we're going to add a tiling on the X and not on the Y, and that should solve our tiling. And if we hit play, we now have what looks like a continuous plane here, and it actually looks like we still have depth to infinity because we couldn't really see infinity anyway. So yeah, so this could work. So let's go ahead and see how that looks on the device before we go and look for creating a plane. I may actually point people towards that create plane script anyway because it's sometimes useful. But let's give this a shot because you may very well be right on this. Start game. I think it looked better before, but it's hard for me to say. Is that what it looked like before?
You said you think it looks better than it did before?
No, I think it looks worse than it did on the previous test. But I could have just been me being stupid. It does look pretty good.
Well, how far...
Here's what it looks like.
How far is it extending past the camera? Because you multiplied it by a factor of 10, which might be more than we need.
For the edges?
Yeah.
Alright, well...
Where's the camera in relation?
So the camera is here. This is the camera.
And it extends how far past the camera?
Here's the extents.
Okay.
Here, I'm just going to do one more test on where it was just before, just because I'm curious if it was just my eyes playing tricks on me. Because sometimes they do. In testing, you sometimes have to check things multiple times just because it's easy to think something is some way and have it not actually be that way. Ran into that in tests a lot. It's like, is it fixed? I think so. I checked it, and then you look at it again, and you're like, oh, no, it's the same. It just felt like it was better. So, but I have a feeling that it actually probably was just me on this one. We'll see, though. I swore it was blurring out the add layer better, but it might not have been. Yep, this is running from before. Keep that in mind when you're building. If you go back and you start playing your game, you might be on an older build. So we hit start game. No, it looks the same.
Is that extending all the way past the... No, it's not extending past the screen.
Yeah, you can see the edge there. And you can see floating things when you go to the side. So it actually looks exactly the same, though. That was totally my bad on that. So, that being said, I don't think it looks exactly the same as this. And I think the reason is... actually probably because we didn't change the other ground quad to use a plane as well. So I think I'm going to switch them both to planes and see if that will fix it and make it look exactly like the computer. If it doesn't look exactly like the computer at that point, we actually have kind of a new problem, because we fixed the fog not showing up at all, but the additive stuff in our version here, it doesn't really add over it at the distant fog. Like as you see here, we've got these complementary colors. They disappear as they go towards the fog. And on the mobile, they aren't actually disappearing. They're actually going all the way full distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back to what Jeffrey suggested, where we keep them wide but not deep. Wait, what?
Is there a smaller multiple that we can use than 10 to get it to extend to the edge of the camera?
Possibly. You want to test that out and get it closer?
Yeah.
All right. Alright, so we're going to go to the game view, and we're going to do... So, here's times 2. Is that really all we need? That looks pretty good. This is 16 by 9. Yeah, looks like we can actually get away with just times 2 at this point.
Because that will make the vertices closer.
Yeah, it will. So, let's go with that. And that means we multiply the x by 2, and we multiply the x by 2. And let's see if moving left and right still feels right.
Oh,
that's weird. Wait, how did that happen? Was that happening before? I think that was happening before and we didn't look at it. I didn't move. Here, let's check. I'm just gonna quickly... Yeah, I think it was happening before. I think that's actually because we switched to the plane, and because the plane was oriented differently, we have to change our movement to be negative. So if we change pseudo move left and right to be -1, there we go. And we actually have to change. It's actually moving the wrong direction towards the screen too, which somehow I didn't catch that. So let's do animate texture speed y -1. There we go. Back to normal.
I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, it's funny. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it becomes really obvious the moment that you do notice it, but like...
When you mentioned it, I thought it looked kind of cool, but
yeah.
It is a little weird.
We didn't have to change the other one because it's still using the quad. So let's just see how this looks in the game one more time, and then we're probably going to change the other one to the same setup. So it'll be a plane rather than a quad, and we'll see if that does any effect on the additive stuff. If it doesn't, then we'll have to attack that from a different angle. So
since we have fog showing up now, we can also try adding or try modifying the fog settings.
Yes, this is true. Alright, we'll push into the device again. Alright, we're going to do start game. And looks about the same as it did before. But that's good because it means that we don't have to have the edges be nearly as far out as we did. The fog's looking good. Like as far as the ground fog and on the pillars, it's looking good. I just want to see if we can get that additive layer to behave a little bit better.
Is there what is it on right now? It's additive.
It's particles additive is what I'm using.
Is there a mobile particles additive?
There is, but we can't tint it then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like the only difference between them? Or?
There's actually, if we download the source for them, it will say in the source that the differences are it disables soft particles support, it simplifies a couple of equations, and turns off tinting. We could always turn tinting back on in a custom version if we wanted to.
What does it fall back to, do you know?
I would imagine that it falls back to probably just diffuse. Almost everything falls back to diffuse, even though it's not particularly useful.
So,
I don't think we're having a fallback problem here, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to see, like if it was falling back to a non-transparent, non-additive thing, our texture actually doesn't have transparency that it's using right now. It's just black, and so if it went to a default, we wouldn't even see the larger grid behind it. I don't think it's actually doing a fallback. I just think that it's behaving differently. So, but again, this might be partly due to the vertex problem, and we're still having vertices that are quite far away in the case of our small second ground here, because this one, I should actually probably put this ground grid 8 and ground grid 32.
Oh, because it's not a plane.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and switch this one to a plane and do the changes that we need to do on that, which is bring this down to 0 and make this 1, make this 100, and then divide both of these by 10. Yeah, I know that I kind of did that in a weird order. And then finally, on the... So, ground grid 32, we should probably have it at 40/20 as well. Oh, wait, no, we want it to be different, right?
We need to change the speed of the animation to -1.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do need to do that. Speeds of the animation to -1 and -1. And I'm going to divide these by 10, even though I think that's wrong. Yeah, that looks wrong. I don't know why that looks right, but I guess it is right. Is it right? It's a little off. 2010, 40/20. No, that should be exactly right. So let's hit play, see how it looks. Yeah, that's looking like it did before. But now let's see if it has any effect on our mobile build. Save project, build and run. Start game. Ooh, yep, that fixed it. So it's probably hard to see on there, but basically we actually have the lines being occluded by the fog now. Does that look right to you?
It does.
All right. Sweet. Game still plays correctly. Things are going in the right direction.
Listen for the sideways movement sound.
I hear it, and it's actually popping too. It's just very quiet. Listen.
I thought I could hear it when you were playing.
Yeah.
There's small vibrations in the device, so I feel like that's the movement.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm touching the screen.
Yeah. Alright. I'm going to switch back to main screen. Alright, so let's look at our Asana list. And actually, let's not look at that one because that's my other Asana account. Sign out. Sign in. Make game now. Do it. Make a game now. Do it. Alright, what are we going to do? We're doing Asana. Oh wait, I just realized I could have probably gone to Asana. Because we logged in with a Asana login. I didn't tie it to my Google. So, alright, cool. So make a game now. Oh, whew. I was worried for a moment there. I'm like, that was very blank. Alright, so mobile movement sound may not be working. Let's change this to mobile movement sound is quiet. Fog does not render properly on several mobile systems, so we've confirmed that we've fixed this on Android. I'd actually like to confirm separately the fixes on other devices, though I'm not going to worry about doing that right this moment. BlackBerry and Windows Phone, I'm going to checkmark by default. We'll uncheck these if I get access to a BlackBerry or Windows Phone, but I don't anticipate that I will before the end of this series, unfortunately. So if you do have a BlackBerry or a Windows Phone that you're trying to build for and you're having trouble, please send questions to pushypixels@pushypixels.com, and we'll try and help you through it. As I mentioned, it'll be kind of blind help, but I've got enough experience on other platforms that I think that I can probably walk you through some problems if you're having trouble getting things running on these platforms. So mobile movement sound is quiet. Better title screen graphics. Well, we've got that actually. Better score screen. Yeah, well, I mean, we put a background on it. I'm going to put another thing here. Better buttons for our title and score screens, because those cubes are really bad, and I want to make it a little bit better. We definitely still need better gameplay balance / game feel.
Let's just put the color changer on those buttons and see how that works out.
That's actually not a bad idea. Just using what we got. Yeah, why not? Let's do that right now. We're going to go into the title screen, and we're going to go to our start button, and the button and the button, and we're going to change these to use we're going to add a script. We're going to add a component. It's going to be called cycle material color. There we go. Now we hit play. Wow, that improves it considerably. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to actually make it so that we go with the complementary one so that it fits more with the game. So we'll do start hue of 0.33333333. There we go. So now it'll match the title screen occasionally, so... Awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and do that on the back button for the high score screen as well. Back button, and we'll throw cycle material color. I don't have my face blocking things anymore, right? Yeah, I don't. Yay. And let's save scene and hit play. Looking good. We don't have the music on this scene because we didn't explicitly put music on the game manager in the scene. As a matter of fact, we don't even have a game manager in the scene. I'm not going to worry about it because the user is never going to launch into that scene directly. So I'm going to save scene, save project, and actually we should check in what we've got. We should have actually done that before, but we forgot. So you grab these things, throw them in up here. These are our screenshots that we took before. I don't really want to check those into version control right now. And we're going to commit this, and this is a fix for fog on mobile, confirmed on Android. And title screen slash high score screen button image color stuff. Push commits. And let's see what people are saying on the channel. Open link in new tab. And we're going to pause this and find people. Alright, so Unity 4.5.3 is out. I guess we're behind now. We're behind the times. Fed up of all them promises Unity doesn't keep. All them promises. Yeah. We were supposed to get the good GUI in 3. Yeah, we were supposed to get the good GUI in 2.5, buddy. It's been a while. New Unity GUI is 4.6, so it's still not in there. Really want to get online saving since I don't have Twitter. And since I don't have Twitter, Phil, get well. So, Phil, get well, yes. Yeah, go ahead and send the wishes on here, too. Like, you can comment on here, that's fine. If you don't have Twitter, don't get Twitter just for Phil's. I'm sure that we'll relay the messages that you send here. Found a good music generator, fake music generator, since I can put links. Since I probably can't put links, is probably what you meant. Your ground texture is scrolling the opposite way it should be. Yes, very observant. More observant than we were. So let's refresh this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have to look at fake music generator at some point. I wonder what's in... I am curious now what's in 4.5.3. Let's look. Unity 4.5.3. We're not going to upgrade because I consider upgrading during a project a bad thing unless the upgrade specifically fixes or improves a system that you desperately need when you're developing. So let's see what's new in here. Is there anything that we need? I don't see anything about fog so far. So added resources.load async to asynchronously load assets from resources folder. That's cool. That's a pro thing. iOS support for Unity Remote 4 on Windows. Oh, they couldn't do that before? Well, cool. So evidently, they didn't have iOS support for Unity Remote 4 on Windows before. They do now. Added the support for no graphics command line argument on OS X, so I guess you can make it headless if you wanted to. Unity now supports building native Windows Phone 8.1 applications. Ooh! Ooh! Wait, it didn't... Does that mean that it doesn't have to... Oh, this may mean that we may not have to have installed... we may have not have had to play all the bar games. I'm hoping that's what this actually means. I think this may mean that instead of having to build a project for Windows, it will actually just spit out an executable that will work on Windows Phone. I'm not sure that's exactly what they mean, but I'm going to hope that's what they mean, and I'm going to do an experiment with that probably tonight or something. Unity now supports building a universal Windows Store phone, so that's good. That means one less thing that we have to support. Added ability to select target monitor in the resolution dialog, including devices like Oculus Rift. Actually, I really wish this was on... There was a Mac version. There's no such thing as universal Mac Store and iOS Store stuff. Select target monitor in the resolution dialog. Oh, that's cool. So you can actually change what monitor the player goes on to, so you can do Oculus Rift stuff. That's cool. And yeah, lots of Windows player fixes. Let's see. Sprite packer memory requirements. Sprite. Vertex snapping of sprites. Fixed on application focus event. Ooh, that's a scary one. I wonder what was broken about it. Fixed possible crash when calling application quit on application pause. Fixed audio stream from www objects. We don't have to worry about that. Fixed touch coordinates being wrong under interface rotation. That sounds horrifying. There's a lot of fixes. This is crazy. Alright, well, we might actually upgrade to this on the show at some point, but I want to... The main thing I would upgrade for is this. If it means what I think it means, I want that upgrade, because anything that will make the publishing portion of this easier, I'm game for. So, what are we doing now?
We were on Asana.
We were on Asana. Let's go back to Asana. So, better buttons for our title and source string. Done!
You can assign that one to me.
Alright. Well, after it's done? Yeah. I should invite you. I should start assigning you things. Let's see what we got. So
invite the viewers and...
Yeah, I'm not sure how many I can invite. I think that the free Asana only supports like 8 people or something, but I could be wrong. I wish I could just make it an open invite that's just like, yeah, anyone who wants to connect here can do this. Yeah, I don't think I can make it public.
Can you make an account that's read-only and just hand that out to everyone?
It probably could make it, but if that someone decided to change their password, no one else would have access to it at that point. So it would be basically... I don't want to put people in a situation where that might happen. I don't know. I guess that's not a big deal. I would imagine most of our viewers wouldn't do that, but at the same time, if someone did, I'd feel disappointed somehow, even though it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm not saying it wouldn't surprise me because of the viewers. It wouldn't surprise me because anonymity on the internet. That's the reason. It's just like some kid just catches onto the show and is just like, oh, cool, and then they change the password. You know, I don't know, or even just like not even intentionally doing anything. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. So, publish on platforms, features we'd like, more music visualization hooks. Well, since we got done on one of the important things, which was we got at least it fixed on Android, possibly on the other platforms as well. Let's we should probably be working on the game feel. Let's do that next episode. What we're gonna do this episode is I'm going to put more visualization hooks in, mostly because we had a comment on one of the shows where someone had gone to the trouble of actually writing the script that made the pillars move to the music. And actually, since they did it, I'm just going to, with their permission, I hope that they posted it for everyone to use. We're going to just assume that for right now, and if they come back and say, no, you can't use it... Oh, wait, I have to create a channel. Oh, this isn't me. Sign out. Where did this comment actually end up in? Make a game now at gmail.com. No, I want this one, yeah. Okay. And what are we doing? We're going to go into the comments here. Vertex problem. It was pretty recently. Kickstarter. I don't know which video it was on. Alright, we're not going to just copy and paste it, we're just going to do it. I think what we'll end up with is pretty similar anyway. And my apologies that I couldn't find that. So, what are we doing? We're going to go to our existing script, and actually we're going to want to change some stuff on it anyway. So, if we go into prefabs, materials, what are we doing? Scenes, we want level 1. And we want to look at... What's the one? Fogbeat. Okay, that's why we couldn't find it, because it's named stupidly. Alright, so Fogbeat. So we're going to name this one Stupidly 2 in honor of the already stupid naming convention that we've created for us. So Fogbeat 1, we're going to call this...
At this point, should we create
Column Beat.
a manager for the Spectrum data that will
We'll do that.
it once per...
We'll do that shortly after this. I actually want to see how badly it runs first on mobile. Oh, and this is going to confuse. It's going to be like, where's the file? I don't know where it is. So let's open this up again. I don't know if I even saved that. Okay, I did. It's column beat. And we're going to use the same functionality here, except for instead of render settings.fog density, we are going to do transform.scale. We'll do local scale. And what we'll set it to is... okay, so we're going to have to do a couple things here. So we're going to set local scale equal to something. So I'm going to grab the local scale first. So we're going to grab... we're going to create a vector 3 new scale equals transform.local scale. New scale dot x, and what we're going to do here, we're going to do, so what were we doing here? We were doing fog density plus the multiplier. So I'm going to do something similar. We're going to do new x scale, new scale x plus equals this thing. And
that was being added to the original, so I think it might just grow.
Yeah, so we don't want to actually do that. So what we want to do is, instead of new, we want to do equals to original scale dot x plus, there we go. And we don't have an original scale yet, so we're going to do, instead of original fog density, we're going to do original scale. And instead of original fog density, we're going to do original scale, and it's going to be transform.local scale. So, oh, I did something. Can't convert a Unity engine vector 3 to float. That makes sense. So this actually shouldn't be a float original scale. This should be a vector 3 original scale. Save. And actually, we don't want x, we want y. I don't know why I was doing x. I think we want y at least. We'll find out. Save. And so now what I'm going to do is we're going to pull a column into the scene, a pillar parent into the scene, and I'm going to put Fogbeat on here.
I don't think our script was done yet.
Whoops, not Fogbeat. What do you mean it's not done yet? Oh, you're right. We need to actually set our transform.local scale equals new scale. Thank you. Save. Is that what you're talking about?
That and vector 3 new scale should be... Well, I guess that works actually. Yeah, okay.
Cool. Alright, so what are we doing? So we're going to go to pillar parent, and I'm actually going to put this on the pillar itself, because this thing has its own scale separate of the parent, and so we're going to be affecting its scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, what is it called? Column beat on pillar. And I'm going to make the value similar to what we've got right now on the fog beat thing, which is in our special effects section here. So let's just duplicate this stuff for right now. Sorry. Fog beat, special effects. So, Hamming, 64, 0, 16, 13.34, Hamming. 64, 16, 13.34, and Hamming. Let's hit apply, so this applies it to the prefab, and then we're going to delete this and see how this actually looks. It's doing stuff.
Whoa, that was a big one.
Alright, so I'm curious about some stuff. So if we go into our pillar prefabs, And we change the values here. So this is the amplitude, that just changes the amount, although I don't think it's actually affecting it. Oh, it's affecting it on the new ones. So let's not... Wait, why did it say... Oh, yeah, because this is a prefab. 13.34. Let's just start with that again. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that we can randomize the frequency channel, which will make it so these things will react to different portions of the music. So let's give that a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another public bool randomize frequency channel equals false. False. A-L-S-E. And what we're going to do here is we go to randomize frequency channel, and now we change it so that start if randomize frequency channel. Then what we will do is we will set our frequency channel equals random.range 0 and samples. And that should be exactly what we want there. So so let's try that. So what we're going to do now is on our pillar, we should see a randomized frequency thing here. So if we hit play, and you can see that some of them are reacting to different things, and that's cool. That one's, there's a few of them reacting real good. I like it. Adds a little bit more motion to the game. Alright, so that's running fine on here, but let's see how it runs on mobile. I have a feeling this is going to actually run quite slow, but I'm not 100% sure. It actually... There might be some caching going on in the background, and it might just be that things are so freaking fast these days that we won't even have to worry about it. But I think I'm going to do an optimization even if it doesn't end up being a problem, because I just see it as being a problem. Which is not the best reason to do an optimization, mind you, but let's turn this thing on. I need, like, I'm going to change the sleep settings on this thing. How do we do that? Sleep after 30 seconds. Yeah, that's way too short. Oh, too late. Game came up. We've got our color changing block buttons, so that's cool. Gonna hit start game. And it looks like it's running pretty good. It's not really possible for you guys to tell on the video because our video is set to 24 frames per second on a good day. But it looks like it's running at 60 from my best reckoning on here. So the reason I was concerned about the reason I was concerned is because we're getting the spectrum data from this GetSpectrumData call, audiolistener.getSpectrumData, and we're doing this. Every single one of these things that's doing it is actually grabbing the spectrum data. Now, it's possible that GetSpectrumData actually caches things for us, which would let's see. That actually brought up this. So C-A-C-H-E. No, it just was lie. Oh, cool. We can actually do that now. So. Num samples supposed to be a power of 2, min 64 max 1892. Alright. So that didn't actually help me. It doesn't tell me if it caches it or not. Let's see what cache came up with here. C-A-C-H-E. Cache server, sweet. And this is the same deal. So, I'm going to make the assumption that it is actually costly to do this. I am not 100% sure that it actually is, but what we're going to do here won't hurt you. So we're going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a script that gets this data once. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this GetSpectrumData. And I'm going to put this onto special effects. And what we're going to do is we're going to, in our update loop on here, basically do exactly this. And we're going to expose the things that we put in there. So we need window, samples, and channels. So window, samples, and channel. And then we need the data as well. So the data, this one we were just creating the data as a new float here. We're going to not do that. This would work, but we want access to this data from other locations. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a public static data, just data. Data will be fine.
Public static float data.
Yes, thank you. Public static float data. That's why it was fighting me.
Yeah.
It had every right to be confused. It's like, you want to type here, right, man? Like, that's what you want here. I know that's not what you're thinking of, but that's what you want. So public static float data, and this will be an array. And I'm not sure if I can initialize it with one of these, but I'm going to try. I have a feeling this isn't going to work. Equals new float, and the size of which will be samples. I think this is not actually kosher.
I think you can if it's constant, though.
Yeah, I think you can if it's constant as well. But let's see what this does first. I think it's going to give us the parsing error. That's
a different problem. No semicolon on public static float.
Thank you. Save. Alright, field initializer cannot reference the non-static field method or property spectrumdata.samples. Alright, so we could make it... because it's static. That's right. That's right. Well, I guess we could just do public static actual samples equals samples. No, that has the same problem. I don't know what I'm thinking that's going to solve. So the problem is that this isn't static. And so what we can just be lazy and do this. The problem is it won't show up in the editor then if we make it a static variable.
So you want to make the script a singleton?
Wait, I got an idea. We can either make the script a singleton, or we could make a separate accessor for this. So we can make this a private float data, and then we'll make an accessor that other things can reference that's static. Or can we do that? We can't do that.
No.
Yeah. We have to make this a singleton. And actually that didn't solve our problem either. Field initializers cannot reference the non-static field. Yeah, because it's not static. Alright, yeah. Wait, but it's not static anymore.
I think now it's because you're trying to use the variable that could be...
Okay.
Well,
it's weird that it's the same error, even though... Oh, okay, I think it has to be static for it to reference it. Okay, I knew that there was going to be something wrong in there. Alright, so let's do it as... Alright, let's not initialize data here. We'll initialize data here in the start. And that should allow us to do it. We'll do data equals new... actually, we're going to do public static again. Public static float data. Data equals new New float array samples. Save. Let's see if it'll let me do that one. All right, that worked. Yay. So so this initializes it, and then we put data into it each frame. And then what we're going to do is on column beat, we're going to change it. Instead of using audiolistener.getSpectrumData, we're going to not have the samples channel and window in here anymore. And we don't need data anymore. Actually, we
don't. We're getting data from
the new script. Yeah, we don't need to get data from here either. And we don't need to call GetSpectrumData. We don't need that anymore. So all we need here is SpectrumData.data. And then give it the frequency channel again. Now, we do something on the random here. We need to know the samples here. So what we can do there is... Yeah, we could just make a samples. I guess I didn't have to delete the samples public. No, that's not the best way to do it. We should make it so that we can reference it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a public... We're going to have to make this into a singleton. All right, let's do it. Basic singleton. We're going to be doing public static spectrum data instance. It's not going to be a really strong singleton. We're just going to assume that there's only one of it. And we're going to start. Is that how we did it before on like Game Manager? How did we set this up? Oh, we have it all fancy on Game Manager. So yeah, we do this fancy stuff. And put this into start here. And I'm not doing the full thing, so we're just gonna reference this instant variable directly. Save, and then now we can do a public static int samples, and this will be get and what we're going to return is return.
Well, we don't need that now that we made it a singleton. We can just do spectrumdata.instance.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And the data doesn't need to be static anymore either.
All right. You are absolutely right. So let's just do that. So spectrumdata.instance.data. That shows up right. Good. And then what we do here is spectrumdata.instance.samples. There we go. We're done. Save. Hopefully. We'll find out if we're actually done. Save this one. Let's see if there's any errors so far. No errors. That's good. And then let's also do this on the fog beat. I don't see fog beat here, so let's do fog beat. And this one, we are going to do the same deal. We're going to get rid of data, audio listener. We don't need the samples and channel anymore. And we don't need the window. And what we do is spectrumdata.instance.data. And we don't randomize anything here, so let's just save that and hit play. Alright, so it changed things on us, and I think I know why. It's because we have these default values on the special effects that are not the values that we had before. So what we want is, we want the window to be hamming, and, why did the other thing change? Amplitude multiplier, that must have changed or something. Let's look at our thing here. So fog beat, no, it says frequency channel 16, amplitude multiplier 13.4. I guess it was just the window. Let's just see if that fixed it. I think it did. Cool.
I think maybe we should put a maximum value on how big the cylinders can grow.
You think so? I kind of like it when they go off the screen.
I don't know, it just looks kind of glitchy to me, but...
We're in a computery world. It's supposed to be glitchy. I like it. But yes, we could put it at maximum. We might look into that later. It's the end of an episode, so I'm gonna hit save project. Let's go ahead and check this stuff in. Source tree, please. All right, thank you. Grab these. We want the spectrum data and column beat. I don't want those screenshots. That's good. We're gonna commit, and this has visualization on the columns and an optimization, maybe. I'm almost certain this is going to be faster this way. They were referencing it from a single source that only is doing it once a frame as opposed to doing it once per frame per object.
Even if that's not any faster because it caches, it's still not allocating for the data for every cylinder.
This is a good point. So it doesn't have to allocate a 64 array of floats every time that we spawn a cylinder, and also additionally deallocate those floats as soon as the cylinder is destroyed.
It was every frame because we were doing an update.
Oh, yes. Wow. Yeah. So that's got to be better. That's definitely better. So we saved it. We checked stuff in, and let's call that a show. So it's a show. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Dracfire. You should send Phil Get Well messages either in the comments here or send him a message on Twitter. That's at Magmalemur, MAGMALEMUR. And, excuse me. And you guys have a great hour, and we'll see you in an hour. And have a great night after that, even if we don't see you. All right. So yeah, I'd say that was a pretty good episode. Let's see what we got going on here. Just initialize the array and start. That's what we ended up doing. Unrelated to the episode, but just wondering if you've considered using Patreon as a way for fans to help support the show. I have considered it. I may set up a Patreon page at some point. Sound bug. Once the player is dead, as we see the game keeps going, but the sound effect of death is still active when the pillar hits the position of the player. Well, that's cute. Really? Do we not destroy the player properly?
I noticed that it was doing those
fireballs. Yeah, that would be because, wait, no. So here, protagonist, give on trigger. What's the one that does the sound? Okay, so the whoosh will definitely still happen because we're just killing hero protagonist and we're not killing his parent. So yeah, there's a few things that don't get destroyed. We'll actually fix that. That's very astute.
Does it also make those moving left and right sound effects? If you
probably
actually, if you tap
if you keep holding it when you die, it does. But then as soon as you release, the next time you tap, and it goes back to the title screen. So I wish that this worked. This show one new comments that doesn't do anything. Maybe update automatically. I'll do it. Oh, update automatically does it. Thanks for the episode. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We're doing the banter thing. That's the reason that I'm just boring at this point. Because when we don't have anything specifically to talk about, and I can't like work on the project because then people won't see it because we'll be cutting into this section. But yeah. I don't think I had the link for... I did not. I didn't have the project file link. I'm sorry about that. Let me fix that while we're here. GitHub.com. Make game now. We're going to go... Actually, I should probably show this on the screen. Why not? If anyone cares. So, episode 17. Is that really the last episode we had? I worry now.
I thought we were doing 20.
Yeah. Why is this end at 17? Dang it. Alright, let's look at our episodes real quick. Must have not done this last night. Come on. So, video manager. So, we we didn't do any work in the PlayStation Mobile registration, so we need an episode 19 in there. So that will be a little bit trickier. Normally I just type in, I guess I can make the 19 one now. That'll be fine. The episode 21. Episode 20. Go ahead and do that. But then we need to make a branch based on what we had before. Let's see what we got going on here. So let's sync to basic tile screen background. This is what we want. So we want to check this one out. That'll be fine. And then we want to branch. New branch will be called episode 19. Or was it 18? What was the real episode? 19. Alright. Episode 19. Create branch. Perfect. Alright, and then we can now go back. So now we can push this branch, maybe. Okay. Gonna destroy everything on our Get server accidentally.
That's okay, we have a video showing exactly what we did.
Yes, this is true. This is very true. So there we go. We have episode 19, and now I don't really care about the local one. Let's just delete this one. How do I delete? Oh wait, I have to switch. So check out master and delete episode 19, and we don't want to delete the remote branch. So now if I go into our list here, refresh, if we go to episode 19, this has the basic tile screen background as the last thing, and episode 20 has visualization on the columns. Perfect. Easy fix. So copy link address, put this in description, save, and I'm going to say that's probably more than enough banter. Live events, videos, live events, that's what we want. Stop.